Now a water hybrid. Check this out. Well, technically, it's a hydrogen on demand hybrid. What we have here is distilled water with 1 teaspoon of baking soda used as a catalyst. We tickle that water with 12 volts of electricity, and what it does is it separates the hydrogen from the oxygen. That gas is then sent into the combustion chamber, where I was formerly getting a 30% burn. That's right, in all of your gas vehicles, you only get a 30% fuel burn, which translates to 70% of your fuel, of your gas, comes out of your tailpipe. Now, however, I'm getting a 100% burn in my combustion chamber, which means a few benefits. Number one, after a couple hours of running hydrogen, it had blown years of deposits out of my engine. My engine actually idles so quietly in city traffic, I can't even hear it. My torque increased, my horsepower increased significantly. And like I said, right now I'm getting 56% better gas mileage highway, and I'm getting 35% better gas mileage city. Safety. Of course, that's a huge concern here. We're talking about hydrogen. Look out, it's gonna blow! Just kidding. Actually, it can't blow. Remember, you're not storing hydrogen. This is hydrogen on demand. Since it's hydrogen on demand, there's never enough hydrogen in the line at any given time to cause an explosion or a fire in the case of an accident. If you do happen to get in a car accident, you've got water and broken glass, and that's it. This is a 100% safe system. Now, after about 3,000 miles, your water is going to end up looking like this. It gets dirty, and this is what's referred to as blooms. It's a byproduct of the distilled water, the baking soda catalyst, and the electricity running through the system. Now, the important thing is this water is not toxic to you or the environment, so you can literally pour it anywhere, and you're not going to be doing any damage to the environment. Distilled water, which you can make, you don't necessarily have to buy it. I just bought it for ease. This is your baking soda catalyst. You're going to use 1 teaspoon per jar of distilled water. After the conversion, my emissions went down to almost 0. However, I'm completely offsetting those negligible emissions because now my tailpipe is pumping all kinds of oxygen back out into the atmosphere. The great thing about howtosavefuel.com is the fact that Alex Rivera installs this in your car with a team of certified mechanics, so you don't have to worry about it. And they guarantee their work, so if anything ever goes wrong with the system, they're gonna fix it. And if I ever want to go back to 100% gas and not use the hydrogen system, all I have to do is very simply pull the fuse. I'm an absolute believer in this hydrogen on-demand conversion system for cars, and I'm an absolute believer in howtosavefuel.com. Hi, Grant here. This is a follow-up video to the What the Big Oil Companies Don't Want You to Know video. There were thousands and thousands of comments and concerns, and I want to do a follow-up and address some of those right now. I've gone straight to the source here. This is Alex Rivera, the man behind the hydrogen system that was running in my car. There's the hydrogen system right here.
Hydrogen is starting to be made. We're at 14.3 volts. We're at 5.7 amps. Here's the hydrogen being made. This will produce about 800 milliliters per minute, just under a liter.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your experience? What makes you an expert in this field?
I've always built and made custom items. It doesn't matter if it's a car, a motorcycle, a house. I've been an auto mechanic for 40 years. I've also built custom motorcycles during that time. On the vehicles we were doing, before fuel injection, we were putting fuel injection systems in. We were doing nitrous, triple Webers. I'm an OSHA certified competent person. Belong to a lot of different automotive and building trades, groups and associations, along with the eco associations.
Okay, so one of the first big things was people were challenging that I had said that most cars only get a 30% fuel burn, and that around 70% of that fuel is wasted as exhaust coming out of the tailpipe. Can you address that?
You're right, Grant. Most mechanics know this already, that a lot of the fuel that's being burnt in the motor compartment is being cycled out through the exhaust system. 70% is accurate, fairly accurate. It varies from vehicle to vehicle. Older vehicles more so than the newer ones. But when you put hydrogen in the system, you'd add this to the equation, you end up with a much better burn in the cylinder. So you're using up all that fuel. You'll end up with more horsepower and more torque. Because you're cleaning all the carbon deposits, you end up with a smoother running motor. All my clients have told me that their vehicle runs the way it used to when it was brand new.
Okay, which was what I had noticed as well with mine. I had a market increase in horsepower, which I could notice right away, right after the conversion. And I also noticed that about an hour after running the hydrogen system, the engine was idling very, very quietly. It was running very, very smoothly. And I'm imagining what had happened at that point was it had blown all the deposits out of the engine. Is that correct? Or most of the deposits out of the engine?
It'd probably take about a week or two to clean the motor out the way it should be. But yes, you'll notice it immediately. First time you go out the first drive.
One of the first things I want to mention is that I am no longer running this in my car because I had a fender bender. My insurance company came and told me that the cost of the repair exceeded the value of the vehicle. So I removed the hydrogen system, I held on to it, I bought a new car. That warranty has just recently expired, and now I'll be investigating how to convert this new car to run on hydrogen just like my last one.
By the way, Grant, the warranty issue. There's a thing called the Magnuson-Moss Act. It basically states that they cannot void your warranty simply because you put an aftermarket device on your vehicle. They have to prove that it's done damage to the vehicle.
I didn't know this.
Yes, you can look it up online. Magnuson-Moss Act.
So wait a minute, you're saying I didn't have to wait for the warranty to expire on this car? Alex, I've been wasting money on gas!
Yes, you could have been saving tons of money.
Another issue was I saw a lot of comments. People were saying you would need 4 alternators under the hood. This would drain your battery. Now, in the 4 years that I ran the system, I never noticed a single drain on my battery whatsoever. Alex, can you address that?
Our system's designed different. It only uses about 6, maybe 8 amps at the most. This is similar to your car battery. You can see it right here. We're at 13.9 volts. Your battery is usually about 14.2 when it's running. So you're 6.4 amps.
The alternator is still going to function. The battery is still going to charge. We're not drawing more than the alternator can replace. Is that a correct way to put it?
On this system, yes. There are different types of fuel cells that'll run 40, 50, 60 amps, more even. And they're trying to push too much hydrogen to the vehicle. There's a certain ratio that it's not going to make a difference anymore.
There were people challenging the fact that oxygen that was being produced in the system was running through my car and out of the tailpipe. And my claim was that I was actually contributing oxygen to the atmosphere. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. We've done dyno tests. I took one of the vehicles and I put them side by side, one on top of the other one, so you could see what the differences were. We've done a smog test. The carbon emissions reduced down to 0. The NOx emissions reduced, I'll say 50%, but if you calculate it, I know it's more than that. The 18-wheelers I put this on, the first thing that the client will say will be, that's the first time the truck ever started without blowing the black smoke.
Another one of the big concerns that people were commenting about or asking questions about was the safety of the system. I see a lot of people commenting, this is a bomb waiting to happen. And I did try to address that in the video, but perhaps Alex, the expert, can speak a little more clearly.
We have pressure release valves in case it ever builds up. We have anti-backflash devices. We have safety pressure relief devices. And even the lid itself is a pressure release. It would pop off if there was too much pressure built up, but it never does. How much am I storing? This much? Quarter, half an inch worth of hydrogen gas, whatever's in the line. It's not going to go that far. If this lid was to come off and I'm just generating hydrogen and oxygen in the air, once it's traveled 6 inches, it's no longer dangerous anymore. Since 2007, we've never had a problem.
Another huge question I kept seeing again and again, will this work on my car? I see people tagging other people to ask them, look at this and tell me if this will work on my car. The truth is these hydrogen conversion systems, and particularly Alex's here, will work on any combustion engine. He even has models that work for motorcycles. You could even do this to an airplane engine if you wanted to, but let's have Alex address this specifically. Alex?
Yes, I have a lot of questions with people asking me that they have a particular Jeep or Chevy or whatever vehicle it is. And try to answer everybody at once, this will work on any vehicle, no matter what type of gas you're using. As long as it's a combustion motor, it will work. I can do your lawnmower if you want me to. It's just going to be the most expensive lawnmower you've ever had. Any make, any model, any motorcycle, we can do it. I've done it to this Harley. I've done it to all my Harleys here.
I actually have a lot of people challenging my mileage results, which I took 4 years of meticulous mileage records. Consistently, my highway mileage was increased by 56%. My city mileage was increased by 35%. Now, this does vary from car to car. Other people with different cars are going to have slightly different results.
Average gain is somewhere between 20 to 50%. We've gotten as much as 85% and as little as 10% on specific few vehicles. The 10% seems to be on some of the foreign imports where they're very restrictive with the ECU on any kind of changes. Some of the newer vehicles is maybe 10 to 15% because they're also getting restrictive. They're switching to a new electronic system that's called a CAN system. 20 to 50% is average.
Also, a lot of people have said they've gone to the howtosavefuel.com site. They've hit a lot of dead ends when they were trying to find out information about the system, about prices, and I want Alex to address that himself.
The overflow of phone calls and emails and Facebook is, I appreciate it. I really do. It's amazing. But for me and a few guys to try to help everybody at one time, we have to recollect ourselves, and that's what we're doing right now. Is we're getting ready to go to a larger company, have a shop, and have everything so that it's convenient for you. I'm still going to contact everybody one at a time, but it's going to take me a while, so please be patient. But in the next few weeks, we'll give you some more information, updates on everything, and we'll keep you in contact, in the loop, so as we're going into the next phase of growth, you'll know all about it.
If you have any questions based on this follow-up video, please feel free to ask me at Fringe Tech.